I am scared of these things. Caffeine is no joke. So, around a year ago, I thought, I have to find out. I have to find out what these nootropics are about, because as a person who likes coffee and caffeine, knowing the downsides of coffee and caffeine, just what else is there? You know, it's 2017, 2018, I thought, let's take some stuff. Let's try some stuff out. And I did that, and it's been a year, so I have not rushed this video at all. And I'm just gonna run through as quickly as possible. I kind of like, the more I get into the art thing, it's I think my fellow employees like really noticed how, and now I'm buying like a camera and the guitar, and my employees, like, they want you to be only that thing that you're hired for. And I feel like I eventually, it wasn't just that, but I did get fired. It was more of a customer complaint thing, where, and I could go into that, where I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing, or customers, they come in with their own problems, and then they add to the whole thing of being a checkout lane cashier. Not saying it wasn't my fault in some of the cases, it was. However, getting fired was a good thing, I think. I'm in my own world, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think one of my managers noticed that, and they noticed that I kind of, even though I was happy at that place, they noticed that my mind was elsewhere, and it's true. Like, I've been working on this thing for so long that my mind is out. Like, when I'd go to work, I'd be constantly thinking about my own thing. And then I'm buying cameras, and I'm showing them, like, I bought a camera, and they're like, what are you buying a camera for? And that's kind of like, I don't know, people just seem to, people don't want to make stuff, they just want to consume. And yeah, and I'm getting over that. I'm really getting over that, wanting to just consume stuff. And I do consume a lot of YouTube still. Oh, a lot of it. But hopefully I may have found a better job where I'm more in the background, which from 2004 to 2010, that's where my jobs were. I wasn't doing retail, and I tried retail two times in the past year, and I thought I could do it, but apparently I can't, because eventually something happens where a customer complains, and that's an interesting thing, because as a customer, I'll complain about stuff, but at the store, like, I've never found anything to complain about. Even if the store's a fucking mess, I'm not going to say anything to the employee, because they already know. Around a year, starting around September. So the first one was Alpha Brain. And I think in post, I'll add all the ingredients, because I don't think my camera, well, maybe. But I'll just grab it off the internet. Because Alpha Brain, first of all, it didn't work for me. I'm not here to praise Alpha Brain, actually. The thing about it is it's really expensive, and if you look at the ingredient, there's a lot in here. So the price makes sense. But everyone is different, so the amounts they put in here, it seems like it's like a 3 in 10 chance like this might be the product for you. However, they're nice enough to tell you most of the quantities they put into it, so you can go and try these, like L-theanine. You can go and buy L-theanine by itself. You don't need Alpha Brain. And the vitamin B6 in here, it's not the real vitamin, it's a synthetic vitamin. So you can get your B6 and B12 in a more natural way. And the thing with any drug, the closer you stick to nature, the better. The further you get away from nature, the more problems, the more nausea, all that stuff will happen. And alpha GPC, a lot of people swear by it. I didn't really notice anything. The main physical effect of this I felt in my eyes. My eyes would pulsate with blood around my eyes. I'd feel the blood going. Then if I kind of closed my eyes and relaxed a little bit, it would go away. But that's pretty much Alpha Brain for me. I tried 120 capsules throughout like 2 to 3 months. I tried 1 at a time, 2 at a time. One time I took 3 at a time, and that was a waste of money because I did suffer some negative, just brain fog, stuff you wouldn't be taking this for. So that's Alpha Brain. So I think the next one I took was Nootropic. I hear look at the artwork on Alpha Brain. Really nice artwork. They changed it recently, though. I don't know what they were thinking. This artwork, all across all their products, I loved it. I loved what they did with their label. Because look at this. Whoever designed this is not an artist, that's for sure. Nootropic is... it made me happier, although I did sense of tolerance, and I think I was taking too much. A lot of people take like 5-10 milligram. I was taking 30 to 90, and yeah, more brain fog. I was not taking this one correctly, and it's all gone now. So, but I was kind of more positive about this one than Alpha Brain. Nootropic, it's worth a try. Or it might have been phenylpiracetam, because I was going back and forth with them. They kind of arrived around the same time. I do go into it later a little more, but I want to add that I would go on walks with Nootropic, and that became like a thing during the 30 capsule trial. And on one of the walks, I became very, very, very paranoid, to the point where I couldn't handle it, and I turned around and went home. But it was for good reason. I'll just try to quickly say what happened. So I was walking to the mini mart corner store, and I was smoking a joint. So a car passed by me, and they were a good distance away, but I was standing right under a street lamp. So I think they saw me exhale a huge cloud of smoke, because it was pretty cold out, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, and then right as the smoke was exhaling, their brakes suddenly hit, and then, that's right there, that's not suspicious. But then it kept getting weirder and weirder until they were like 25 feet in front of me, parked, or not parked, but stopped with their blinker on. And it was just like, this is sketchy. So I kind of darted off the road, and it got even weirder, because I waited it out. So I was like, okay, they're definitely gone by now. So I hop out of the bush dimension on the side of the road, right next to my house, and not right next to my house, but not right next to my house, but within walking distance. I did not get far on this walk, and lo and behold, now the car is lurching down the road with their lights completely off. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is obviously one of my friends, or someone is fucking with me, but I'm not in the mood to be fucked with. So I hit again. And from this vantage point, I could see them, and they eventually went away, and I went home. It was a weird walk on Nootropic, I think. And the next one was phenylpiracetam, and I have a few more of these guys, and they lasted a long time, 30 count. And that's another thing I want to mention is, I think all nootropics should be 60 count, no matter what the price is. Because some of these prices are expensive, so if you're getting 30 capsules and you're paying more than 30 with shipping and tax, it's not really worth it to me. However, this stuff is affordable, and it works. It really does work. I'd say it's not a daily thing, because you build up a tolerance, kind of like psychedelics. You will definitely be buying another one of these in the future. So then next, this is where I really spread out, because after trying Nootropic and phenylpiracetam, I really started to just splurge. So I got the key minerals from Onnit, and this is one of their better products, I'd say. Really gives you great sleep, and you need all this stuff. And yeah, a little expensive, but you get 120, and it says to take 4 at a time, but I was seeing results from my sleep from just taking 1 or 2. I tried the L-theanine powder. L-theanine is really cool, one of my favorite nootropics. It's a powder, so many people will see that and they're like, whoa, drugs. No, I don't know. So it's really hard to convince people about this stuff when it's not like in a Coca-Cola can, I find. Like if it's not in the store shelf, people are like, no. Give me, like, they call it snake oil. They immediately go off the edge. Like it edges them out right away. It's kind of funny. And I like to experiment, so finding stuff that isn't caffeine was a real fun adventure I've gone on. Krill oil. This stuff, I wouldn't take krill oil year-round, but Onnit makes a really good krill oil. I've tried 3 brands of krill oil the past year. This stuff is gourmet. It has like the hard thing that dissolves. It tastes like candy, and then the actual oil inside. If you bite into it with your mouth and let it soak in your mouth, you feel the effects immediately. Just you feel a little bit more focused in the juicy brain, and that's good to combine with phenylpiracetam and alpha brain. And the other thing you want to definitely stock up on is this stuff. If you're taking a nootropic, you need to also take this stuff. And I started out with the Onnit. Look at the label. Look at the artwork. I might put it in front of the camera even. Probably not. But look at the artwork. That is good artwork. I switched to the Sun Food version because Onnit went to the sort of soft, giant capsule alfalfa. That's what it smells like. It smells like fish food or like alfalfa. I had guinea pigs, and it pretty much smells like what their food is, or fish food. It actually smells like like fish food. However, this stuff will keep your stomach really happy, and it gives you a bunch of energy. And once your body is used to this stuff, you can eat like 10 of them or more. I think people eat like 50 a day. And at that point, 50 a day, at that point it is pretty expensive. But if you're only taking like 5 to 10 a day, really affordable. And if you don't know what this stuff is, it's basically like eating a salad, but in like a handful. You just go and you're done. And to me, that is really, really, that's a positive to me. But some people, this stuff weirds them out. It's again like a drug thing. I show people at work this, and they're like, no, put that away, no. Oh yeah, before I got into L-theanine, I tried. In this company here, they're called, they're not called Nutribox, they're called something else. Very capitalist. They've taken advantage of the supplement industry. I'd say this is their best product. This stuff will really get you wired if you have like 8 or more of these little cubes. However, they're pretty expensive, and again, you build up a tolerance. So by the time I went back and bought a larger, this is like their starter thing, then I went back and bought their next, I think it was like $35 worth of coffee cubes. And on that one, I ate them so fast that my tolerance kind of, I got some stuff done, but I kind of like theanine by itself. And speaking of theanine, this is where I hit the mega load here, when I found out there's a liquid theanine. And when you have a liquid drug, always go with the liquid drug, because it's better. The way they made it is more natural, and it'll work. It really does work. If you think L-theanine doesn't work, because in the powder, there were a few times where I'd mix a drink in some juice or water, and I didn't feel anything. However, this, a few drops, and you start to feel it. And they're the same price. However, this one is a lot larger, as you can see. This one, I don't know if it was like a placebo or what, but I think this one is better. Even though you get less of it, it's kind of like a greed thing, I guess. Like if you buy this one, you know that you have to make it last, you have to savor it. Whereas this one, I was taking extra doses just for the hell of it, and probably didn't have to. So, I don't know. And again, artwork. Look at the artwork. Look at this. What? On it has a vitamin D3, and also you can get it much cheaper from Naturalist D3. This stuff is so good. Not only does it taste good, which a lot of nootropics are either tasteless or you're not buying it for the taste. But like 3 drops before bed or when you wake up, take this every day. This is amazing stuff. You'll wake up feeling so good. And lithium off Amazon. This stuff will also make you feel pretty good. I bought, I think, 3 bottles of this, and it goes quick. I really like this stuff. It makes you feel relaxed. Playing video games on it, it's really fun, or studying, or just being on the computer, trying to stay focused. And there's a lot of lithium out there. This is lithium orotate, I think. There's a lot of different kinds of lithium, and I did a lot of research before. So it comes in a plastic bottle, which is kind of sketchy, but they assured me it's fine, and I was satisfied. I was so satisfied I bought 2 or 3 of these over the course of last year. It's 1.67 fluid ounce. These melatonin little strips from the dollar store. Not a big fan of melatonin. I think my brain does a fine job without putting more supplement version of melatonin in there, because every day your brain makes this stuff. So and the sleep it does give me, I didn't really like it. I'm not a person, I don't really. Then I tried the caffeine 200 milligram, and these are like liquid toothpaste. They're kind of, it looks like toothpaste in a capsule. And wow, not only is this affordable, it comes in 60 capsules, and it was like $4.16, like not even $5 on Amazon. Great deal. I am scared of these things. Caffeine is no joke. If you think you know caffeine, try taking 2 of these on an empty stomach and see what happens to you. And for the average caffeine person, they'll go 400. I can do that. Not these. This is real, pure caffeine. When you put it in water, it's just like any drink. Everything is diluted a lot. So this is not. This is up to you to dilute it. And wow, I'm scared of this stuff. I still have like 26, I think, out of 60, and I'm legitimately like last case, like emergency scenario. I need to get some work done. I'll take 1 or 2 of these. These aren't nootropics. These are essential oils from Nature Truth. Kind of girly. I know, like most guys probably wouldn't even try this. This stuff, good night. Oof. Man. Yeah, I like this stuff. You'll wake up feeling really good. And it's just flower oil. Lemon balm. I was mixing this with the L-theanine liquid, and it just gave it a little more taste. And this stuff makes you pretty sleepy. So, not that I'm into downers, but this stuff relaxes you. If you take too much, you'll want to go to sleep. What do we got here? 14 minutes. Then I tried the Cortex. Now Cortex is sort of indie. They're not a big presence in the. Well, they're doing it. They're doing really good actually. I watched the guy. Pretty cool guy, and he knows this. He knows a lot about nootropics, more than I'd say most people. So, and he made this based on his own needs. And I do say I think it's better than Alpha Brain. It's stronger than Alpha Brain. However, I wasn't that impressed. In fact, yeah, I think I keep my phenylpiracetam in here. That's smart, right? When you mix up the labels. It's a decoy. It's actually phenylpiracetam. And you got krill oil from grocery store. And valerian root from the grocery store. This stuff is really strong. Yeah, I take 2 if I need to get to bed and I know I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. 2 of these, not even 2, just 1, and you'll wake up feeling pretty stoned actually. Like you feel a little weird after waking up from valerian root. Green tea extract. I got 60 capsules times 2 of this. Very affordable, and it's pretty much L-theanine. Again, taking that before bed is a great idea if you want to get some sleep. or it's just a focus. L-theanine is good for sleep or focus, which, as a caffeine person, you go, that can't be true. It's true though. You don't have to do one or the other. Whereas only the experienced caffeine user would drink a Pepsi before bed. Holy basil, I was also mixing this with lemon balm and liquid L-theanine with water, and it makes a really tasty drink. Anything that says energy and vitality, definitely it's good for you. And this stuff here, this is just to help regulate the levels. When you're taking nootropics, you're depleting more than you would, so this just puts it back where it needs to be. And when taking phenylpiracetam, you might get a strange, not a headache, but like kind of a strychnine, tightening feeling, and this will prevent that from ever happening. Life change due to supplements? No, not at all. Again, other things have changed my life, but the search continues. While there's a lot more to try out there, and I have made discoveries with the krill oil, theanine, lithium, Cortex, the D3. By the way, after you open this, you have to keep it refrigerated, which is it makes it even better when it's cold. Yeah, and green tea. So I found some new things out there. So yeah, it's important to try new supplements when you have the chance. So more on phenylpiracetam and Noopept, because I kind of went too fast. I'm trying to get this done in less than half an hour. So phenylpiracetam is Russian. It was created for space, pretty much. It's for Russian astronauts, and it's got a history in the Olympics as well. Although they kicked it out of the Olympics because it was actually too much of a drug. If you go and look, just Google phenylpiracetam. The list of what it does is actually kind of incredible. I had never heard of this stuff, much like a lot of drugs that you should have heard about by now. I had never even heard about this drug, and I think it's because you really have a one shot at this. You cannot do this day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 and expect day 1 results, because you really have to give it a rest. It's called cycling off, which you do on many drugs. And it's kind of interesting how the pharmaceutical business, they don't want you to do that. They want you to take your drug every single day so you continue to give them money. And dosage on this stuff and Noopept, very important. I found I was taking too much, and then I took a long break from phenylpiracetam. We're talking like almost a year. So I bought the bottle, and of course when it was a brand new thing that showed up, I was dipping into it a lot. And then I took a long break from it because I felt my research had kind of failed. I wasn't doing a good enough job with Noopept and phenylpiracetam. But then I went back to it, and I took a really nice dose where I took green tea, 100, so 1 capsule of this, a bunch of this, like 4 or 5 green teas, maybe some D3 earlier in the day, and a bunch of the algae tablets, and maybe a krill oil, and that combination, man, and some coffee. So yeah, that combination really worth trying out, because sadly I didn't get to work on what I should have worked on, but I did put it to the test and tried something on the computer that I don't enjoy doing, and I know like when it's like I don't enjoy doing, and then what I end up with usually isn't that good. I'm talking about video editing, and I edited a small little 1 minute. I just put myself to a task, and what I made was, I think, different than what I would have made otherwise. So yeah, just be careful of your dosage, because on Noopept, I actually did, I'm not even kidding, or it might have been phenylpiracetam, but I hallucinated on this stuff. And I'm not glorifying it, because if you want to hallucinate, there's better ways than taking this. However, taking this for a week and taking large doses, eventually I got to a state one day where I was seeing like a plane, like a transparent green plane. It was mostly like a closed eye hallucination, but I think really, it was an open eye hallucination as well. It was like a green plane emitting more little particles, and it's hard to even describe what a hallucination is. Not a psychotic hallucination, like an induced hallucination. It's really hard to explain what those are. And yeah, but it was interesting nonetheless. And that concludes my research so far. What did I learn? Well, I learned there's more to it than caffeine, although caffeine has gifted humanity a lot. So I'm not bashing caffeine. However, I have learned that there is more out there, and we should give it more of a chance. Because caffeine, in a weird, like, alternate universe, caffeine might be undiscovered, and we have something else that we discovered instead. So it's fun to try new things like this. A lot of people are scared of their brain chemistry. They don't want to even, like, screw with their brain chemistry, even though we do that on a daily basis anyways by eating food and watching TV and everything. It's all connected. I'll end this with a quote. We are able to create musical instruments from dirt and stardust, metal. There's metal in our blood, and we use this to create instruments. We create instruments out of the earth. How can you explain what music, what is laughter, what is love? How can you explain these things? It's all examples of that we're related to the earth. And that sounds all like new agey and stuff, but I've really come to, I feel like I understand that now. And we are evidence of being. We're part earth, and then our brain, part of the source. And that's where, like, the whole robot thing, people hear robot, and they take that really literally. That's why over this past year, I've come to find that English is, like, extremely flawed. And growing up, I've always enjoyed the video games that have very limited English, because you can still make a really good game without any of that. It's a visual communication. You know, a lot of language is audible, and music is audible. Now I'm rambling, but, like, what is humor? And people say, across cultures, certain things are funny, while other things aren't. But then there's, like, a lot of things that are funny no matter where you are in the world. Like if someone falls down and trips, you're allowed to laugh. Don't forget to laugh. A few more things I forgot that were kind of on the floor here. You've seen these before. I'm sure everyone has seen these. This has taurine and a few other nootropic things, but it is not marketed as a nootropic. But, and I'd rather take a single compound, I think. Stacks are, I don't have any luck with stacks so far. And the rare occasion, like I described when I took algae, the green tablet things, the salad tablets, along with phenylpiracetam and maybe a few other things, then the stack makes sense. But that was from my own, yeah, I didn't mention it. On it, it's really cool about their return policy. So you can try out anything for the first time and you'll get your money back. In most cases, they don't even want you to send it back. These two, I'm sure they're good. However, 30 of this is not enough, and this is something you take every day. In order to really start to notice the difference, you need to really start taking these constantly, and 30 is not enough. And it's really expensive, so I decided I can't really go down that one. And here is New Mood. Now, New Mood has magnesium, niacin, B6, valerian root, some lemon balm, L-tryptophan, and the, I'm pretty sure it has melatonin too. I thought it did. You know, it doesn't say it on here though. It has a very earthy smell to it, like mold, and it will help you sleep, and you can take it during the day, apparently. But I want it when I took 2 and 3 at once, and it says to take 2 capsules. So one time I took 3, and you really do feel it. And when it finally dissolves in your stomach. By the way, on this one I mentioned this is a roll-on, so you roll it on. I just rolled it on my arm. But everything else is mouth. and non-addictive, by the way. The HTP or the tryptophan, when that kicks in, it is like a burst of, you could almost call it some kind of creative burst. It definitely would help you. And what I theorize, because it happened at least 2 times where I was able to recreate that feeling where this stuff really kicks in. And I have a feeling if that happens when you're sleeping, that'll give you a very memorable, lucid type of dream.